Hey guys, it's me Cosmic, and today we're going to talk about why the furry fandom, as well as autism, Asperger's, and the rest of that spectrum, seems to fit so well with each other. Today we're going to talk about that.
Let's begin with fursuiting and autism. Now, for autistic individuals, it can be very difficult to make eye contact with new people, especially when we meet each other. And for many, touching someone with a hug or a handshake can be very uncomfortable. Many end up having to force themselves to do these rituals as not to be rude. But putting on a fursuit will also put a barrier between you and others, making it much more comfortable. It's a very comforting thing, and it's even better when the other person is also wearing a costume, and thus also has a barrier. Many are easily overstimulated by touch, light, and sound. The last one is something I get overstimulated by as well, which is why I'm not too fond of huge gatherings of people as well as concerts and clubs. The fursuit helps tremendously with these situations, again because it's a barrier. Now, when it comes to more intimate things such as cuddling and so on, many prefer to be in suit or interacting with a suitor than a non suitor. Because obviously, when you are around a big fluffy man sized dog or someone wearing a mask, you don't feel as anxious and awkward as you would otherwise. When you are wearing the fursuit, in the head, you feel like you don't have to be you. You are the character you are trying to portray. So, in a way, it's like a break from the anxiety and stress. Which obviously depends on the OC. If your OC is basically just you if you were an anthro animal, then, it's not exactly that big of a thing. Autism comes with lots of strengths, at least just as many weaknesses as well. Many people on the spectrum have a tendency to be more logical, artistic, and honest, but social skills are our biggest weakness. Obviously, the level of it depends on what percentage of autistic you are, or Asperger's you are. For example, I have Asperger's syndrome. I was diagnosed back in 2006 when I was 6, and thankfully my percentage is only 25%. This, combined with slowly but surely training myself, adjusting, and getting therapy, I am able to make eye contact and I am able to meet new people as well as hug them. Obviously, I still hate large crowds and clubs and so on. And although I'm not great at socializing, I can do just enough to get things going and potentially form friendships. Too much noise makes me get very angry. However, I would argue that the biggest reason for why autism and the furry fandom mixes so well with each other is because furries are accepting of non-neurotypicals. We admit that we ourselves are different, so we accept the fact that humanity comes in many assorted flavors. Autism is only one of them. Autistics are used to wearing a mask to cope with neurotypicals. Wearing a fursuit is just another mask. Any unusual behavior, behavior traits such as tics, slimming, and so on, can be passed off as an animalistic thing, or something that is accurate to the character. Us humans have a great need to pack bond, and will always gravitate towards other humans with which we share a genuine interest in or a common goal in, no matter how weird that interest or goal is. Many autistic people find it soothing to use a weighted blanket or wear heavy clothing. Also, it's harder to hear or see in a fursuit, which does help some autistic people whom get overwhelmed in environments that are loud or bright. Hence why people will talk about seeing less and hearing less very often when they're wearing a fursuit. And it's also why many fursuiters will have a fursuit handler with them. Now, Additionally, lots of people with autism struggle to read social cues or make eye contact. Furries wearing fursuits are essentially forced to communicate with more exaggerated gestures, which can make it much easier to interpret, as well as make social communication not only easier but more fun. This does apply to the social media side of the furry fandom as well. However, unfortunately, when it comes to furries and social media, most of us are on Twitter, and yeah, do I need to explain anymore? So, no wonder there are so many of us autistics that are attracted to the furry fandom and end up loving the furry fandom fairly quickly.